Hello everyone, and welcome to Monster Hunter 2's online town, Dundorma. For nearly a decade, this part of the game had been completely inaccessible. If you try to launch the online mode regularly, you'll get a DNS error. Right now there aren't any fan servers for the town, and I'm not actually playing online. That being said, this offline version of the town was made by Gigaproto. There will be a link to his website and channel down below. I've been exploring this version of the town for quite a while now, and I wanted to share some of the things I've learned. I should also mention that I'm using an English patch by Burango, specifically his first alternative patch. There is a reason I use this version, aside from translating some of the items and names, which I will mention when we talk about the low-rank quests. If you want to see some gameplay of the patch, or ask me questions about Monster Hunter 2, the best place for you to do so is my Twitch channel, which is always in the description. I'm trying to play through the game as closely to the original version as possible, meaning ranking up can be quite grindy. I usually stream Monster Hunter 1 and 2 at least once a week. Anyway, there should be some timestamps on the bar and in the description if you're only interested in learning about certain parts of the online mode. Just a quick disclaimer, I never got the chance to play on the original PS2 servers, so most of the things I mention about them are based off of videos I've seen or websites I could find. However, I was fortunate enough to play on Monster Hunter Try's server, along with the fan servers for Monster Hunter 1 and G, which seem to share a number of similarities with this game. Still, if there are any mistakes, I'll do my best to address those in the description or in a future video. When you first boot up the city, similar to Lak, you'll end up on a Streetside Market just outside the town center. You couldn't actually see other players in this area, but you could chat with them. On the left side is this laid-back merchant. He sells some item box and house upgrades, as well as some food for Fugi. This is one of the few shops that actually upgrades as you move up the hunter ranks. You'll unlock one house upgrade at HR 16 and another at 31. Just behind him are these two Wyverns who manage the Elder Dragon Observatory. The old researcher gives you various information about playing online, the town, and the Elder Dragons. The Wyvern to his right is the Elder Dragon Forecaster. Normally, she informs you about the seasonal locations of Elder Dragons, along with which defensive battles and event quests are available. Based on Monster Hunter 2's old website, the event quests seem to rotate in groups of 3 about every 3 days. Her second option shows the invasion rate for the town and fort. It seems like if either of them reached 100%, siege quests at those locations would be available. There are still cutscenes left in the game files for both the preparation and aftermath of these sieges. If you want to see them in full, they'll also be linked down below. Both of these quest types require information from the server. Unfortunately, they don't really work on this version. To the right of the observatory is a wanted board, which shows the various bounties for slaying or capturing monsters, as well as some additional awards for delivering items or completing objectives. The board does get updated as you hunt in cycle seasons, but I'm not entirely sure if it was synced up for every player online. Apparently the prices are supposed to decrease for monsters being hunted often and increase for those that haven't been hunted as much. Not sure exactly how the mechanic works, but I might do some testing in the future. On the opposite end of the square is a Poogie, who's actually rather useful. If you pet Poogie properly, it'll lead you over to one of 4 different gathering points. Every gathering spot has a different set of items you can collect. The 4th point only appears during the warm season. You can feed Poogie some food beforehand to collect some rare items. Like with cooking, the ingredients that work vary depending on the season. Poogie will reset after quests or by going back to the main menu, but won't always appear. It seems like Poogie doesn't like to show up as much during the cold season or at night. Before we move into the city, just a word of caution, there is a way to softlock yourself on this patch. If you try to exit the market down here by selecting the bottom option, the game gets bugged out. The reason this happens is because the game is trying to find you a new land or area to move you to. These lands used to be capable of holding 1,500 players. The areas in those lands used to hold 150 players. Similar to Try servers, there also seems to be lands specifically dedicated to newcomers and experts. These lands were likely restricted by your hunter rank, where once you reached high rank you'd gain access to the expert areas, but lose access to the newcomer areas. Again, we're not actually playing online, so the patch can't utilize those menus. If you interact with the board in the back, you'll be sent into town. Originally, this board was used to create and view lobbies which could hold up to 10 people. If you chose to make one, you could customize the details that would be displayed to other players. Once you enter the square, you'd normally be able to see other online players moving about, along with every area I mention after this. You'll find a few shops on the right. The first one sells cooking ingredients, which have different recipes depending on the season. Once you get used to making meals before quests, this shop will be pretty helpful. The second shop is a tool store, which is nearly identical to the one in the village. While grinding, I was visiting the shop regularly, especially when I was looking to save time by capturing monsters. Towards the back is a combiner who sells some useful items, as well as allowing you to combine items perfectly, without books, in bulk for a small fee. None of these stores seem to rotate items after quests or between seasons, nor do any of them seem to improve as you gain hunter rank. However, once you reach high rank, these stores will celebrate and give you a few items for free. There used to be a festival day where all their items would be discounted and these stores would sell additional things. Unfortunately, because the festival is triggered server-side, as far as I can tell, this patch does not have that feature. Another thing that doesn't seem to work is the cat near the combiner, who's supposed to let you do some fishing. According to one of the websites, it has the same drops as the village, but for whatever reason it doesn't work in this version of the town. Around the perimeter of the town square are different entrances to facilities. This hall on the far right leads to the Armory. The Armory is pretty straightforward. There's a guildie near the right exit who sells some early equipment at a higher price, but doesn't require crafting material to forge. The amount of equipment sold here does increase as you progress, but caps out around high rank. Up the ramp is the blacksmith who lets you forge and upgrade equipment using monster parts, along with crafting and attaching decorations. This version of the patch is bugged, and the cutscene for forging items doesn't play. This does make crafting and upgrading a fair bit faster though. Fun fact, the blacksmith actually does make an appearance in 4 Ultimate, despite having his area removed. Anyway, the exit on the left gives you the option of going to the Tavern or Elder Hall, which we'll talk about later. If you take either of these 2 tunnels to the back right of the town square, you'll end up in the arena, or as it's known in 4U, the assembly. Unfortunately, this area has the most limitations in this version of the patch. The diva will not appear on the stage at night, though the other NPCs will properly cycle, with hunters drinking at night and cats cleaning up during the day. Even if you talk to the cat near the stage and request a song with one of the rare musical score items, she doesn't show up to sing. If you want to see some of the performances, there will be a link in the description to a channel that has videos for 3 of the 4 songs. Otherwise, you can find these songs in 4 Ultimate's version of the assembly. On the left there are a few NPCs. The first one gives you access to arena quests. However, the quests she gives you are not the online arena quests, but the ones found in the village. This means you will not have access to any of the online exclusive arena coins and gear. In some other games, arena quests automatically search for more players, rather than simply being posted, so it might be hard to convert those quests into an offline version. One of the coolest things about Monster Hunter 2 is that there was a working PvP mode called the Great Hunting Party, which you would normally unlock at Hunter Rank 11. The PvP format was either 1v1 or 2v2, where each team had one pet monster on their side. After reaching the appropriate rank and clearing all the exercise quests up to Rathian in the online arena, you could start capturing monsters as pets. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any footage of an attempted or successful pet capture. According to the manual, only the quest host had the chance to keep monsters, and could hold up to 3 at a time. This NPC was the one in charge of distributing the hunting party quest. The other one a bit further back sold items related to PvP, which included keys to the Dragnator in the center of the arena, an assortment of horns to command the monster, and items to feed to the monster to buff it in various ways. If you want to see some gameplay, there are some awesome videos of a 1v1 and 2v2. They'll be linked in the description, along with a video showing off the Dragnator key. If you couldn't guess, sadly these features don't work in this offline version. The last thing in the assembly is the quest board, where you probably join the arena quests and hunting parties. Considering you're playing solo, it's not all that useful. On the other end of the town square is a board that you can interact with. In this version, it just displays a bunch of empty rows. This was the housing board, where you could see and join the rooms of people in the session. Originally, you could choose to make your room private by going to the bookcase. Speaking of which, if you go up these stairs to the left, you'll be able to enter your room. The online room is the same for both Jumbo Village and the town. This was actually pretty unique for console MH games at the time, as both Minigrade and Lock had separate housing systems from their village counterparts. As you upgrade your room, you'll unlock more item box pages, as well as getting extra seats to eat with friends. If you order enough food in your room, your cat will give you a free meal every once in a while. One major difference between this version and the original online mode is that you can change the time by sleeping at the bed. The day-night cycle, as well as the seasons, were originally in sync with the server, so you couldn't change the time, you had to wait for the server to cycle. The server would keep time even if you were offline. As far as rooms are concerned, the only other things I'm not sure of are whether you could treat your friends to meals, if they could access their items from your box, sleep in your bed to save, or could read your library. Regarding friends, another feature that doesn't quite work is the armor symbol friendship system. For those of you who didn't know, Monster Hunter 2 has a really unique armor system. You upgrade your armor like you would a weapon, where it upgrades with materials instead of armor spheres and has branching upgrade paths. Most armor has at least an S or a U upgrade. U upgrades tend to have more skills and slots, but lower defense. On the other hand, S upgrades give fewer skills and slots, but come with more defense and a special symbol color. You'll start with one color for your symbol, and will need to unlock the other colors, similar to titles, by completing certain requirements. You'll only be able to alternate between 3 and low rank, but unlock a ton after clearing 100 subquests and reaching high rank. If you and your friends have different combinations of colors, you'll unlock various friendship skills, which are essentially free armor skills. According to the AT Wiki, some of these skills include Good Luck, Wide Range, Spirit Swim, and Abnormal Status Attack Up. There might be a scenario where you could get friendship skills to work on this patch with the rainbow color, which you get by obtaining all the other colors, but that would require having people on your friends list and doing the PvP mode, so you would need a save file that had those already. The last entrance on the left-hand side of the town square leads to the Tavern. There are a couple of tables which you can sit in a mode on, but you cannot order food from here. As far as I'm aware, in this version, you cannot get tipsy by drinking too much. Considering you can have your hunter stumble around in all of the games that came before this, and most of the games that came after it, I would find it a little odd if the original version of this game didn't have that feature. In the middle of the tables is a barrel, which is the original arm wrestling barrel. This was the first game to introduce arm wrestling. Unfortunately, in this version, you cannot interact with the barrel. Though it kinda makes sense, there isn't anyone for you to wrestle against when you're offline. If you want to try out arm wrestling, I recommend going to the village and challenging the shipwright. On the far side is a general store, which has most of the items you'll need, like potions, hot drinks and cool drinks, bullets, whetstones, and charms. The store doesn't cycle with the seasons, but it will add more ammo levels and information books as you gain hunter rank. One cool part about this store is it comes with its own minigame, a shooting gallery. When you select the bottom option, you'll be able to choose between 5 different locales, each with their own monsters. If you press square, it will show you the different awards you can get with the points you earn in the minigame. Once you start the minigame, you'll have a limited amount of time and number of shots. You'll be shooting at various monster icons, with some monsters taking multiple hits to take down. Each monster is worth a different number of points, and hitting the small monsters does get the large ones to appear for a bit. The damage you do to monsters does carry over somewhat, so make sure to land those shots. After completing a game, you'll be able to spend your points. These points do not carry over to the next game you play, so you should definitely spend them. The prizes you can get vary depending on the season, and there was a special set of awards you could get during the festival day. The minigame is surprisingly difficult, but definitely a lot of fun. Sitting in the back left is the Guildmaster. When you first talk to him, he'll give you a hunt rank, which you need to register for town quests. Normally, he'd also distribute event quests, and after reaching hunt rank 17, defensive battles. However, like I said, those quests need information from the server, and they don't really work on this version of the patch. At hunt ranks 10, 16, and 30, you'll need to talk to the Guildmaster again to take an official hunting test, which are usually a series of 4 to 5 urgents that need to be completed in order to continue gaining hunt rank. I think dialogue bubbles are supposed to appear above him and the other NPCs in town when they have something important to tell you, like the villagers do offline. For whatever reason the patch doesn't have these bubbles. It could be the case for the original version, but I'd find it a bit strange if they only used it in the village. Anyway, on the right side of the desk is the quest guildie. This is where you'll be registering for almost all of your low rank quests. For those of you who weren't aware, quests aren't sorted by star level in Monster Hunter 2. Instead, your quests are sorted by day, area, and species. On top of that, you can find some information about the areas towards the bottom of the mission menu. I'll be making a video talking about hunter ranks for both high rank and low rank quests, but for now, there's a few things you should know about choosing quests. On this version of the offline patch, you need to be careful which quest you register for. You won't need to worry about this in high rank, but in low rank you might accidentally choose one of the village quests instead of a town quest. If you choose a village quest, you will not gain hunter rank if you complete it, but you can lose rank if you faint or fail the quest if you departed in Dundorma. This is one of the reasons I chose to use Burango's first alternative patch. It can help distinguish between low rank town and village quests. With this English patch, a town quest will have Japanese text for the failure terms on the second page of any quest, while the village quest will be in English. Otherwise, you could look at the request client on the third page, or once you rank up enough, use the HR requirements to tell the difference, but personally, I like using the patch and looking at the second page. I found that the area and species categories tended to have mostly town quests, while the day category had a lot of village quests. I doubt the original version of Dundorma had these issues, and sometimes the quest by day option does disappear. Another issue with low rank on the patch is that certain quests do not properly prevent you from seeing and registering for them. You're supposed to unlock quests and locations at various hunter ranks. For example, you unlock the Snowy Mountains at HR 5 and the Volcano at HR 11. For whatever reason, only the Elder Dragon quests are hidden on this version of the patch. If you wanted to do an advanced quest like Gravios at HR 1, you can, even though the requisite hunter rank for that quest is 15. I chose only to do the quests I knew was the appropriate rank for, but if you wanted to rank up quickly and had the gear, you could definitely choose to skip some of the earlier ranks in this version. Before we move on, when you register for a quest, you'll either need to depart up the stairs or talk to her again to cancel the quest. You cannot exit the area if you've registered for a quest, so make sure you've taken everything you want from outside first. Oh, and both these boards function exactly the same as the others. The last location is just up the stairs from the town square, and can be accessed after reaching Hunter Rank 31. There are also entrances to it from the Tavern and Armory. This area is known as the Elder Hall in 4U. At the front of the left desk is another wanted board, along with the high rank quest Wyverian. This wanted board seems identical to the low rank one. In terms of awards, it doesn't seem like there is a difference between high rank and low rank monsters. As far as I can tell, high rank quests do not have the same issues as the low rank ones. However, I'm not yet HR 51, so there may be some issues with the quests I haven't gotten to. If you're using the English patch, it will state in the special terms that the quest is hacked, but that's just an indicator that these quests aren't low rank. Talking to the other Wyverian at the desk opens the high rank general store. It's almost identical to the low rank one. It doesn't have the shooting minigame, but it sells new monster info, another hunting horn sheet, a cooking kit, and various level 2 and 3 bullets. Not sure if more things get unlocked along the way, I'm still just starting high rank. The giant Wyverian is known as his immenseness. He'll mostly give you tips on hunting in high rank, such as the fact that you'll be randomly dropped off in an area, and that supplies aren't always available at the start. The audio for his voice is missing in this version of the patch, but I could see that getting fixed in the future. The small Wyverian to his right is the Minister, who functions just like the Guildmaster, giving out urgents, events, and defensive battles. Occasionally, both of them will also add information to your monster list for special urgents like Shengoran. Like the Tavern, if you register for a quest, you'll depart in the back right. Naturally, the quest board doesn't do anything, and you can't sit at this big table and eat at it like you could in 4U. There are 2 other Wyverians, one behind this table and the other walking around. From what I understand, they have some interesting flavor text foreshadowing some of the quests to come later in high rank. I'll elaborate on this in a video talking about the online quests. All the other NPCs I haven't mentioned either give you background information on the town and monsters, or give useful tutorial information. And that's most of the things I've learned about the patch and Monster Hunter 2's original online mode. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe so we can get the community tab, and so you can get updated on future Monster Hunter stuff. It's been a ton of fun playing on this patch, and I really appreciate everyone who stopped in to watch me stream it over on Twitch. Breaking up can be quite grindy, but it's nice to have some people to chat with while I do it. I'll definitely be streaming a good chunk of my high rank climb. A big shout out to all my friends who helped me with some of the Japanese translations. I can't really speak it, and I know Google Translate can be quite messy. Once again, none of this would even be possible without Gigaproto, so go check out his channel. Also, just a quick reminder, there's a fan server for Monster Hunter 1 and G, so if you want to play some of those PS2 titles online, a link to that Discord will be in the description as well. The next few videos will probably be some short highlights, but I've definitely got some bigger videos planned for the future. I'll catch you all later, and for those of you who stuck around this long, here's something I stumbled into around Hunter Rank 8. Oh, wait! He's here! He's here. Where? Where? There he is!